Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Warfare. Boy, oh boy, it has been a while, but we are glad to be back in the saddle again, and we got an amazing episode for you here today on World Championship Wreckage's YouTube channel. Now, let's first and foremost the topic at hand. I think this is one I've wanted to do for a while because I think both of these errors tend to get lost in the shuffle a little bit because everybody gravitates towards the attitude error. Hell, you can even say this current era with the Renaissance era. But on today's episode of Fantasy Warfare, we're going to take the new generation era, my era that I grew up in, going up against the Ruthless Aggression era. And on today's episode, we have for the first time making their World Championship Wreckage debut here. You know him and you love him from La Familia himself, the most beautiful man on Wrestle Talk. I said it, and I feel comfortable saying that. The Wiseman himself, Pat. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm excited for this. I do a lot of fantasy booking in my head anyway, and so getting a chance to sit down and actually put a match card together has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So I appreciate the invite. And I am going to need you to clip that of you saying the most beautiful man on Wrestle Talk.
Oh, we'll clip it, my friend. And of course, also joining us, he's my other brother from my other mother, one Michael J. Duplessis. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Yes, and I know you love coming on this show because you are the wrestling encyclopedia, and I know you've got
fantasy book 24/7 in my head.
Yes,
And
you're
the
going to
Ruthless
have.
Aggression era is way better than the Attitude era, and I said that.
He said what he said, and he stands by it. So I'm not going to argue with
not
you.
really standing by anything.
Of course, less than 3 minutes in, and we get a wheelchair joke in. But I love you, brother. We got to break the ice somehow. No, I'm just kidding. But no, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be good. Both of these errors are incredible. Both are awesome, and I know that you guys are both going to have tremendous cards. So that being said, let's just get right into it. And first and foremost, always like to ask, do you have a name for your show?
I do.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So mine goes into the location of where mine is. I picked a location as well.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Let's go.
Yes. So my show will be taking place in El Paso, Texas,
Ooh.
at the Sun Bowl, which is where the UTEP Miners College plays. And so my show is called Showdown at Sundown.
Oh, I love it. Showdown at Sundown. God, that just sounds, it rolls right off the tongue, dude. That's great.
I was proud of that one. I was real proud of that one.
That is nice. That should be a pay-per-view name.
It should. Like, book it. Papa H, Papa Com, Papa whoever.
Yeah.
I need to see that in my life. I love it.
I grew up in El Paso, so I knew it was called the Sun City, the Sun Bowl. It's like, it's got to have sun in there somewhere. And so when I was thinking of names, I came up with that one, and I was brainstorming with a couple of people. And as soon as I said it, they're like, "Oh, that's the one."
That's an
my
instant.
My dog attempted to make an appearance, but it's fine. Get out of here, Bo.
I got goosebumps, bro. Just thinking about that. That's an amazing name. All right, Mike. What about you, buddy? What you got?
In Your House, Generations Collide.
Okay.
And at the old Yankee Stadium.
Really? Ooh. Okay.
Because the new Yankee Stadium is a joke.
I've heard.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hate the Yankees, but I'm sorry. I know.
I'm not a Yankees fan either. I mean, I'm from Texas, so I'm an Astros fan. But even I know that the new Yankee Stadium is trash.
Yeah. All right. Excellent start here. We've got excellent names. We've got the venue. So that being said, let's get right into these cards. And Pat, I'm going to start with you. What is the opening contest at Showdown at Sundown? Or do you have a pre-show match you want to do? We always offer that option.
I didn't book a pre-show match. That was the only thing I left out. I did everything from a commentary team to an announcer to my backstage interviewers, but I did not do a pre-show team.
You went all in. Okay, I want to hear it.
Okay, so because my commentary team, I think, is a banger, I'll do that last. But of course, for my in-ring announcer, I did Howard Finkel. I don't know how you could do anyone else for a show like this.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
From my backstage interviewers, I have Mean Gene Okerlund and Jonathan Cochran.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. I like
And
those.
for my commentary team, I picked one from each era. I have Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman.
Oh, son of a bitch.
God damn this.
Son of a bitch. Oh, Pat, you have introduced us to a new level here on Fantasy Warfare. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have to start doing this.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
wanted to make
love
sure I covered all my bases. I
Yeah,
left no stone unturned.
this is great. This is awesome. Yeah, let's maybe we'll even go as far as like who's the road agents, like who's
Right.
the defenders, where am I getting popcorn from? Okay, maybe not that far.
Referees.
Refs would be a good one. Yeah, refs would be a good one. So.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I love it. You got a hell of a lineup here. Now I'm clamoring at the bit though. What is your opening contest?
Yeah. So when I was booking this card, I didn't necessarily want to go just popularity wise. I looked and I wanted to see exactly who was under contract during both of these eras. So while they may not have been necessarily as prominent in these eras, they still were technically under contract. So for my first match, my opening match, I have China versus Jazz.
Oh, I like that a lot. That is, God, why have I not heard that matchup yet on here? I don't think anybody has
No,
presented
and that's
that.
beautiful because I
That's
forget that
amazing.
China starts in the New
She
Age.
originally appears during the New Generation era
I forget
Yeah.
that.
That's true.
because she starts out as the stalker to Terry Runnels. She's the one who's
Yeah.
yanking her around around the barricade.
Yeah, during the Gold Dust Triple H feud, I legit forgot that happened.
Yeah, that was her introduction into the WWF. So
God, that was
that counts.
beautiful.
That's a great match.
That was son of a bitch.
Mike, you're gonna be in trouble, I think, here, bro. But I know you got some doozies
No, the fact
up
that
your
it just
sleeve.
has never been said before is crazy.
I know, right? Like, how is that matchup never even presented itself? Like, that's shit. We're gonna have to clip that one too, man.
Yeah, that was
God,
wow.
that would be a great matchup. So I gotta
And I
ask you.
love Jazz.
Oh, I love me some Jazz too. So underrated. Should be in the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest
Absolutely.
wrestlers of all time. It's gonna be a tough one. Who's going over in that one?
This one was one of the ones I genuinely had to flip a coin, but two out of three coin flips, I have China going over.
Yeah. Not
Wasn't a
bad
popular choice, but still.
Yeah. Nonetheless, the ninth wonder of the world pulling out the W. I respect it, my friend. All right, Mike, what is the opening contest at Generations Collide?
Four of the greatest college wrestlers out there, two of the greatest tag teams. I have the Steiners versus the world's greatest tag team.
Oh, let's fucking go. Let's
That is-
fucking go.
That is
Dude.
good. That is good. Give me 1 second. I'm close my door.
Oh my God, that's amazing, my friend. Like,
Yes.
I need that. That's another one. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Yes.
That's
like
that's good. That's real
Yeah,
good.
when I was looking at the rosters from these eras, I was like, oh, this is a beauty of a match that should have happened in an alternate universe.
God,
I'm definitely not doing it now.
Yeah. But man, I love that. That is World's Greatest Tag Team is another one. Did not get nearly as much love.
No.
They should have. Charlie
Mhm.
Haas and Shelton Benjamin. They're
So
such
great.
a good tag team.
So good.
Like their chemistry was second to none.
Mhm.
Gosh, but the Steiner brothers, the freaking Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, like peak, in my opinion, peak Scott Steiner. I know everybody loves Big Papa Pump, but give me some like Scotty Steiner back in the day.
Yeah, I don't really like Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. I'm really not a fan. I never have been.
Yeah.
So I'll take collegiate athletes still wearing the Letterman jacket Scott Steiner any day with the
Same.
pompadour mullet. I'll take that any day of the week.
Same here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. But
Plus, once he
hopefully,
became Big Papa Pump, he couldn't move. He couldn't do the Frankensteiner anymore.
oh,
Yeah.
he was
Them roids took the.
on
He
the
was doing
juice,
pose offs
brother.
with Triple H.
Too much juice and too much Shoney's, my friend. But makes for a hell of a combination. But no, Mike, who's going over in that match?
I actually have the world's greatest tag team.
I knew you did. And I think it's an excellent choice. I love me the Steiners, but yeah, I think it would do more for the world's greatest tag team. So
Agreed.
excellent tag match, excellent choice. So what's going to follow that up, Mike? What's your second matchup on your card?
So I was looking at this website that has like every match ever just listed for all the wrestlers. And the fact that these two guys wrestled in the same company for about 5 years and not once had a singles match. And Pat, you will love this because one is from El Paso.
So I think I know who that one is.
Yeah.
I have one Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Hennig.
Oh,
Wow. This is the
That is-
episode of matches I never thought of. All three of these are, as the kids say, bangers. Damn.
The fact that these two guys had factions they were in WCW that feuded and they didn't touch is actually criminal.
How is that even
That is-
possible?
that's solid. Very solid.
That is good. That is some good shit right there, pal. I mean, two of the most beloved wrestlers of their eras, easily. I mean, everybody loves Kurt Hennig. Everybody loves Eddie Guerrero. I mean, both these
Yeah.
guys, some of the all-time greats.
Absolutely.
God.
I saw a post today that said since they officially canceled the Hulk Hogan biopic with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that someone said they should do an Eddie Guerrero biopic with Pedro Pascal.
Needs to
I've
happen.
like-
been asking for a Guerrero family biopic since they came out with the
The Iron Claw.
Iron Claw.
yeah
Yeah.
because that was
Yeah,
my
I think it's going to be. I've said this before with that Iron Claw and what it did. I truly believe we're going to see a ton more of wrestling families and just wrestling biopics in general. And it's going to be very
Absolutely.
interesting with the news that dropped at the time of this recording when that Vince McMahon documentary comes out on Netflix. Holy shit!
yeah they're
I'm
dropping that
scared
monster.
and nervous, and yeah.
I'm going to need to be extremely inebriated when I watch that documentary.
Same.
Facts. Mike, who's going over between Mr. Perfect and Eddie Guerrero?
Latino Heat.
Come on. We love Perfect, but Latino Heat.
I have a tin on my back wall here of Eddie Guerrero. He's my all-time favorite. Like there was no other choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
These are all facts. So
Yeah.
And I'm sure Pat being from El Paso is not going to argue with that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right, Pat, I'm coming back to you. We kicked it off with China and Jazz. What's your number 2 matchup on Showdown at Sundown?
So I decided to get my tag team match out of the way for the whatever company this is, tag team titles. I also have the world's greatest tag team versus 2 members of the New Hart Foundation, Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there, and I like it.
That was beautiful.
I think Anvil and Owen didn't get a whole lot of time together, but I wish they did. I mean, I love them even back when they were freaking what was it, the New Foundation, like in '92 there and stuff when they had the freaking parachute pants.
Yes, let's say the what do they call them? The Zubaz pants or whatever.
Yeah, Zubaz, puffy pants, the MC Hammer pants.
Mm-hmm.
They had a short run together when Owen was heel.
Which that's what I love. I think that's like the best when they were best when
Jim was always coked up like none other.
Oh God! Oh, the Anvil, we love you.
Let's call a spade here. That dude was on the white like he's Bobby Brown.
Well, as the late great Rick James says, cocaine's a hell of a drug. nonetheless, I like this matchup a lot. This is pretty solid. Who's going over, Pat?
I also have the world's greatest tag team. No disrespect
Yeah.
to the Hart Foundation.
Yeah. No, I think that's the wise call there.
Mhm.
From the wise man.
Yes, sir.
What is following that? What's your third matchup on your card?
For my third match, for my cruiserweight title, I
Mm,
have Taka Michinoku versus Rey Mysterio.
let's go. Let's go. Yeah. That's
I had to get the cruiserweights in there somewhere. I had to.
and
Well,
easily the two
technically
best
Taka was
cruiserweights.
considered a light heavyweight at the
Yeah, they
time, but
didn't
he was a
cruiserweight.
cruiserweight.
It's
Yeah,
the
they
same.
didn't call it the cruiserweight back then, but still.
And I had that discussion when I was making the match. Like, do I call it the cruiserweight title or the light heavyweight title? And I ended up on the cruiserweight. But yeah, a lot of people forget how good Taka was because they instantly put him in with Funaki and Kaientai. But Taka could go, man. He was really
Yeah, he
good.
could. Yeah, if you look back at like that his first start there, and you think of like the startup of that light heavyweight tournament, and you know the guys he went up against, like Brian Christopher, like Aguila at WrestleMania. I love that. That's a hidden gem matchup.
It really
Great
is.
Sasuke, like all those guys. Those were tremendous matchups.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course, I mean Rey Mysterio. He's the GOAT, right?
Yeah, Ray is Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray is Ray. So, but I love that. I love that you're giving some love to Taka, and we're not talking about Taka from Kaientai and
No, I'm talking about Taka
Evil.
Michinoku. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about original before he smacked his face on the floor at Royal Rumble 2000.
yeah, yeah.
That was an ugly botch. That was
feel
so bad.
I feel like just sent his trajectory in the WWF just downward spiral after that. I was like, poor Taka.
It's like that thing right after trying to remember what it was. I think it was right before his Sheamus's return where he came back as Mohawk Sheamus. Somebody had said if you played his career in reverse, it would be incredible. Because he like debuted like taking on Triple H and winning titles, and then he just kind of really went downhill and joined the League of Nations and became real bad for a minute. It's like if you played his career backwards, it'd be great. Same thing with Taka. Started, put him in the joke Kaientai era and then move him on to becoming light heavyweight champion. It was great.
Yeah. So who's going over in this one?
I actually have Taka going over in this one.
Yeah, I like it. Give Taka some love.
Yeah, I mean Ray's great, and I love Ray. Being a Latino, being a fan of Ray all the way back to WCW days, like there's no question of how great Rey Mysterio is, but I wanted to give some love to Taka on this one. I wanted to go the unpopular opinion and give it to him on this one. They'll have a rematch. They'll be fine. It'll be great.
Let's get a best of 7 out of it. That would
right.
Be yeah, I love it. I love it. I love that you put Taka over, man. That was the right move. Good call. Mike, what's the third matchup on your card?
I'm gonna go to my women, and it's gonna be in my opinion, one of the most underrated women in the Ruthless Aggression area, Victoria versus Alondra Braze.
Oh, that's good. Yes,
that's real good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Oh my God, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Victoria was so underrated, man. Like the stuff she could do in the ring, like just thinking where she came from. They brought her in as like one of the Godfather's hoes, and just like what she went on to do. God, she was so good. Her work in
the Widow's
TNA.
Peak is still one of my favorite finishers of all time.
Yeah.
From man or woman.
Yeah,
man or woman, that thing looks terrifying. And
so dangerous.
Apparently, she got it from like a 14-year-old Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, met him in Florida when he's working for NWA Florida. And
apparently, Molly Holly had seen it and told her about it, and so she went and saw it for herself and asked Roddy if she could use it. And I was like, man, shout out to Roddy. He's still, he's doing all right in AEW right now. But
yeah,
it's crazy when you find out. Like, I love small random wrestling tidbits like that you find out of nowhere. Like one of the ones that I love to tell is Joaquin Wilde of the LWO, when he was 16, created the original Ring of Honor logo.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
really?
got paid in like, yes, I think there was a contest to design the original Ring of Honor logo, and he won, and he got paid in a bunch of Ring of Honor DVDs.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So
God,
before he was DJZ or anything like that, he invented the original Ring of Honor logo.
that's awesome. I had no idea that that even happened. Wow. But and Alondra Blaze, I mean, come on, one of the all-time greats, Medusa. Like
Absolutely.
even like though like her run in the WWF in the New Generation, like I mean, she didn't have a whole lot of people to work with, but man,
Yeah.
they when
It was
you
her
would
Bonacano.
yeah.
You had very little there.
Yeah, it was literally her feuds was that Bertha Faye, and they were going to start a feud with Aja Kong, and then of course she jumped ship from the WWF, but and understandable. But nonetheless, still with what she did, man, it was Alondra Blaze was one of the top talents in the New Generation era. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
Who's going over in this one, Mike?
Victoria.
Ain't no lady to mess with. I get it. So, but I do love me some Alondra Blaze though. But excellent choices. All right, Mike. Who's following that? We're almost pretty much midway through here now at the midway point. What is the fourth match on your card?
Pat, when you were off the air, you said you had curveballs, and this is my curveball match. It's an 8-man tag.
Okay.
And is
Okay.
the $1 Million Corporation of Kama, Tatanka, 123 Kid, and Bam Bam versus the ECW Originals.
Oh, okay.
RVD, Tommy Dreamer, The Sandman, and Sabu.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I almost, if I could interject here, I really thought where you were going with that was JBL's cabinet. I thought that's where you were going with that against the $1 Million Corporation. But still, this is dope.
Right. But I almost like the contrast of styles a little bit better.
Yeah,
I do.
I wanted to stick to the babyface versus heel thing.
Yeah, no, this is better. This is better, honestly. So what I gotta ask this: how is it you landed on those four for the $1 Million Corporation?
Just when I think of the $1 Million Corporation, those are the four I think of.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna put Virgil in the match? Like, come on.
What about Nikolai Volkov, bro?
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about Volkov. Yeah, forget about Volkov.
I love $1 Million Corporation was it was a great faction in the New Generation era that did not get nearly as much love, I think, in hindsight. But if you were growing up in it, watching it back in the day, they were one of the top heels. I mean, you think about it, 95, like when Sid was in it, and of course, how ironic talking about this, we just lost the late great Sid.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Sid. You think about it though, and it's like they were involved in the world title picture pretty much for the majority of 1995.
Yeah, they were everywhere in 95.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'll never forget. I was just gonna say right before. I want to say it was either right before the Attitude Era started, or maybe it was like right when it started. I believe it was Royal Rumble '97 in San Antonio. I saw Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels. Man, I knew Sid was big. Like, I knew he was tall. But as a 6-year-old, and you see Psycho Sid Vicious walk down the aisle, sweet heavenly Jesus, that is a large man.
Facts. Yeah, I got to see him as a 10-year-old around that era. I saw him in Indianapolis at the In Your House, Buried Alive, go up against Fader. And I remember him coming out. It's so cool. I got to find this, too, because I've got pictures. Like, I had, like, a throwaway disposable camera. Those were a thing, kids. But I have a picture of like Sid, and he's like doing the pointing up to the crowd, and he's like pointing up to us. It's like a badass picture. I gotta find that. I'm gonna find
That's
that.
awesome.
Post that. But I love this. But no, I was gonna say with the $1 Million Corporation, one of my favorite memories of them as a kid was the whole Lex Luger sold out going into like SummerSlam '94, and then Tatanka turns, and like Tatanka was the one all along. You son of a bitch.
That's where we ended when we had to stop filming for Queen's Court. Was that SummerSlam?
Oh my God, you left it on a huge cliffhanger. And
I watched that SummerSlam, and then like Bree, who's a big Tatanka fan, was so pissed
oh, I can only imagine.
when he
My,
turned heel.
my mother was a huge Tatanka fan as well.
I love me some Tatanka. And you know what's interesting too? Like Tatanka, true fact, worked both of these eras.
Yeah, that's he did have a
work
brief resurgence in the Ruthless
in the
Aggression
Ruthless
era.
Aggression era. Like I think that was
And-
2006 or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he was
06,
still
with
jacked.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
They had a weird resurgence of like new generation era guys coming back during the Ruthless Aggression era, because that's when they
Mhm.
also had Animal come back and team with
Yep.
Heidenreich.
Oh God, Heidenreich.
Yeah, Heidenreich. Oh God, I hope he's not on any of your guys' cards, but it's okay.
He is not. I saw a thing not too long ago that said Heidenreich was as good as a wrestler as he was a poet, and he was a shit poet.
Well, you know, Pat. Maybe you can write him into the show and have him like in the background, like try to like kidnap the coach or something, you know, and
Something
read him
like that,
poetry.
yeah.
There you go. Sorry,
I
we're getting
can
off the
try.
rails here. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good.
Mike, who's going over in the $1 Million Corporation against the ECW OGs?
The $1 Million Corporation. That's going to interfere.
Oh, okay, because everybody's got a price. Oh, yep,
Everybody does.
I can respect it.
Mhm.
All right, Pat, I'm coming back to you, my friend. What is following that amazing Taka Michinoku Rey Mysterio matchup?
I know you said we only needed one, but I put a second women's match. This one for my women's title,
I love it.
and
The more the merrier.
I have Bull Nakano versus Beth Phoenix.
Yo, let's fucking go. Oh my God, that is a wrestling fan's like wet dream right there. That match, holy shit.
Yeah,
I know.
when I was throwing around booking, I originally had China versus Beth, but I was like, that seems like too popular of a booking that people have thrown around in their heads. So I really wanted to kind of switch things up. So I have Bull Nakano versus Beth Phoenix for my women's title.
I'm enamored with this. Like that to me, out of everything you've presented has been wonderful, but that's like to me that's the like the marquee matchup so far on your show where it's like, okay, I'm buying this pay-per-view. Like that's take all my money now.
Absolutely.
God, that would be such an amazing matchup, and that's what I love about the show. And this episode here, you're hearing so many of these. These are matchups you just never even thought about, and like now they're out there, and it's like, oh my God, I need this. I need to go play this all on 2K.
It really was. And when you presented the prompt to me about New Generation versus Ruthless Aggression, I was a little trepidatious. I was like, man, like who in the New Generation like can I really make an entire card out of? And then I found a website that had everybody listed under contract during that time. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a shame you only gave me 8 matches because I could have put together an entire 6-hour card with this.
Hell yeah, brother. Who's going over against Bull and Beth?
I have Bull going over.
Yeah, let's go. I like it. Yep. Man.
I have no disrespect to the Glamazon. She was incredible, and she's still great to this day. But I gave it to Bull on this one.
I think that's a wise choice, my friend. And they don't call you the wise man for nothing. Got to get as many of those puns in as possible.
Trust me, I get them all the time.
What is following Bull Nakano and Beth Phoenix? What's your 5th match?
It is my first gimmick match.
Okay.
It is a Hell in a Cell match.
Ooh.
I have Ken Shamrock versus Brock Lesnar.
Whoa. Look at Mike over here like, what? It's fucking bare knuckle shuffle time, baby. Dude.
2 legitimate former UFC fighters in a cage that they cannot escape.
Mike, have you ever thought about that matchup? I've never even thought about that to this day. It writes itself.
No, you son of a... I don't really think about Brock Lesnar matches, though, when I fantasy book.
But still, that makes perfect sense. You have...
It does.
Easily the 2 most successful WWE wrestlers that competed in the UFC. I mean, no, I'm not going to count Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry, but seriously, I mean, Shamrock. Okay, literally, if you any of you UFC fans out there, you look at
Like
the history of UFC.
one of
It's
the
like,
fathers of that original
yeah,
era.
it's literally like Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock are the first two big names you think of when you think
Mhm.
of the UFC's early days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, against Brock Lesnar, who we all know Brock's story, like his incredible run there in the UFC, a former world heavyweight champion. Shamrock, a former super fight champion. So why not put him in a cage? I mean,
Yeah.
this writes itself.
I considered putting them in a Lions Den match, but I just wasn't a fan of that gimmick.
Yeah, fair enough. It gives Brock a little bit more room to play around into, and of course Ken
Exactly.
Shamrock. But
And then this is Ruthless Aggression Brock, so this is freak athleticism Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So want to give him as much room to play as possible.
so this is like Brock may do a shooting star press off the top of the cage. We don't know. Shit, dude. Okay, who in the hell is surviving the Hell in a Cell?
So this is my first curveball. This match ends in a double TKO.
Oh, okay.
Neither of them can stand. They are both physically exhausted from beating each other down, and it ends in a double knockout.
I like it actually. Like, even though you're not getting a definitive winner, it protects both of them. They both look like badasses, and it gets me clamoring for the rematch. So I'm down with it.
That was the hope. That was the dream.
Dude, that's sick. God, I can't believe that. Brock Lesnar and Ken Shamrock. Damn. All right, Mike, I'm coming back to you, buddy. What is the fifth matchup on your show?
I am gonna go with Jeff Jarrett. This is light up jacket, country star
Oh,
Jeff
I would
Jarrett.
hope. I would hope.
And
J-
I'm emphasizing that because he's going against the rapping doctor of thugonomics, John Cena.
Oh, country versus rap. Oh, the
oh
age-old
my
battle.
god.
That is
Oh.
one. This is another one. I never thought John Cena and Jeff Jarrett in the same sentence. God, I love this show.
I'm not mad at it though. I'm really not.
Just
and
picture the promo battles between these two.
I was just about to say the promos would be insane.
like John Cena talking about how like Jeff Jarrett looked like he works at like Chippendales or something, throwing that shit out there. Making
The
so
only
many-
thing, the only like downside is this is pre Slapnuts, Jeff Jarrett. So John Cena can't make a pun about Slapnuts in your mouth and bust out the peanuts.
Ah, that would have been a good one. Yes. Seriously though, that's so fucking good. And hey, Jeff Jarrett, the new generation, he was one of the greats, man. He had a wonderful run as the Intercontinental Champion in this era.
He was
Like
great, man.
outside of the cartoony country singer gimmick, Jeff Jarrett could go.
The video packages
absolutely.
leading up to Jeff Jarrett debuting are some of the funniest things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Him getting thrown out of the Country Hall of Fame and the Grand Ole Opry is just freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is a matchup. Once again, didn't realize I needed until now. So who's going over, the Doctor of Thugonomics, or there's a JEFFJARRETT, baby?
I'm doing this to make Dad happy. There's going to be a guitar to the head, and Jeff Jarrett wins.
Ah, yes. I like it. I like it a lot. Sorry, Doctor Thugonomics, but
You'll be fine.
You just can't go against Double J. Let me ask you this: is the roadie in Jeff Jarrett's corner?
Yes, the roadie
Okay.
will be in Jeff Jarrett's corner. And
Wait, so
guess what?
is B squared in John Cena's
Me
corner?
too.
Oh
It's
shit,
gonna be
we're
in
fucking
this
going
corner.
there. Oh, poor Bull Buchanan.
Oh my god, isn't his son in NXT now?
What?
Yeah.
Isn't his son in NXT?
Yeah, his son's the one with the
Josh
alcohol.
Briggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to them. I mean, Briggs is doing great.
Well, he owns his own wrestling company,
Yep, he does. Sure does.
I was unaware of that.
Bullpen
yeah.
Wrestling.
Yep, that's right.
They're about to start back up here soon.
I think we both follow him
Interesting.
on social media, don't we, Mike?
Yeah.
I know I do. Yeah. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot, man. All right.
I'm trying to get. I may have to look into that. I'm trying to get followers from professional wrestlers. I actually just very very excitedly marked out the other day on TikTok because Zilla Fatu followed me, and I
Let's
lost
go.
my mind. I was like, yes.
Go.
I told everybody in the group chat I'm officially a member of the Bloodline. It's good.
We
He
won.
added me on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't have I haven't had a Facebook since 2020. I don't have Facebook.
And I marked the fuck out.
Dude, he's awesome. He's such a good dude.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Seriously. I love Silva too. All right, Mike. What is following Jeff Jarrett and John Cena? What's your sixth match?
My sixth match is my first gimmick match. And it's a 20-minute Iron Man match. And it's Owen Hart versus Kurt Angle.
Yo.
Ooh.
Oh man, we can only give him 20 minutes though.
30.
I get it.
30.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Oh man, I love that. Kurt versus Owen, like a. Oh man, I mean, what more can you say? We definitely heard the Brett versus Kurt matchup, but definitely Owen versus Kurt would be just as good, if not better. And I know.
Supposedly, there's no footage of it, but these two wrestled in a dark match.
Really?
Right before Owen died, when Kurt had just signed with Developmental.
That timeline adds up right too. So
in '99.
Well, that needs to be on the next episode of WWE when they're doing all this crazy shit. Because I never knew the fucking Nasty Boys went up against Drew McIntyre. That's a weird one. Did you guys see that from this past week?
I did. I did see that.
Yeah. That's crazy. But, that's a sick matchup. In a 30-man Iron Man match. Oh, my God. Like, that's like wrestling fans everywhere would be salivating at just watching those two great technicians. Two great heels, two great workers. These guys literally can do it all. Some of the most entertaining professional wrestlers is both Kurt Angle and Owen Hart. So
absolutely,
this is another one I feel like it writes itself. But who in the world is going over in this Iron Man match?
I have Owen.
Yeah. Let's go. How many falls?
2-1.
2-1. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, that is a pretty solid going from Jarrett and Cena to Kurt and Owen. Pat, how in the world can you top that? Because we're coming back to you. What is the sixth match on your show?
It's going to be very hard to follow that. But for my next match, again, I've basically booked this as a WWE show. So for my Intercontinental title, I have Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig versus Randy Orton.
Yo, let's go. Oh, baby. And then we're talking Legend Killer Randy Orton, right?
Legend Killer, burning my light Randy Orton.
Oh, man.
Still had hair Randy Orton. I'm going that Randy.
Against one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time and Mr. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Shit. Like, and you could go into it going on this, like Orton's going to end the legend of Mr. Perfect. Oh, man, I like this shit a lot. God, pick me a winner. How are we doing this?
I have Randy killing the legend of Mr. Perfect and winning.
It's understandable. Randy Orton in like 2000, peak 2003 to 4, he was pretty damn unstoppable. So
absolutely.
I get it, man. That was a hell of an IC title matchup. I love it. So we're down to the wire here, as it's now time for your semi-main event, my friend. So what is the seventh match on your card?
This is my semi-main, and you alluded to it earlier. I know it's a popular choice, but I just couldn't put it away. It is Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle.
Let's go. I mean, I was expecting to see that on this show, so I like how you both covered where you had Kurt going up against the Hart brothers. That was good.
Oh, he had to go against one of them. And I considered Owen, but I put him in my opener in the tag team. I considered possibly swapping out Owen with Bulldog, but I wanted to see, at least he gets in with some technicians with the world's greatest tag team. So I had to go Bret versus Kurt Angle.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a Kurt Angle too. I think some may agree, some may disagree, but I think the work Kurt Angle did in the WWF, it was all great. But as far as like from a physical in-ring standpoint, Kurt Angle in the Ruthless Aggression era was like second to none, man. Like,
Incredible. I mean, you
like
think of all the feuds with John, the feuds with Shawn, with Ray, just everything he was top tier, man.
yeah, you could not stop Kurt freaking Angle. But the Hitman, I mean, Hitman easily, arguably one of the faces, if not the face of the new generation era.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Absolutely, man.
that's a
I
hard
had the
one.
Bret Hart glasses. I mean, I was a Bret Hart fan. I don't discredit anything Bret did or has done in his entire career. Bret's great, man. And every time I heard that pull of the guitar every Monday, I was locked in. I love Bret.
I love it. But we do got to pick a winner here. Pat, who is going over between Bret Hart and Kurt Angle?
I may have done this to win some brownie points with you, XLJ, but I do have Bret Hart going over.
I mean, he's the leader of the new generation. He is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there will be. So, yes, you're
Absolutely.
very valid in your points, my friend. So, kudos to you. I love it. All right, Mike, I'm coming back to you. What is your semi-main event at Generations Collide?
I have Diesel
Okay.
versus Batista.
Now that's a
Ooh.
good one. That's a damn good matchup because
Yeah.
Diesel definitely one of the faces of the new generation. As a matter of fact, he's like the first real world champion I honestly remember watching like avidly as a kid, man. I was like in the crowd. I wanted the glove. Yeah, buddy. And
Yeah.
Batista. I mean, what can we say about the animal Batista, man? His rise to the top in the WWE, like he was peak in the Ruthless Aggression era, man. You get Batista 2005. Holy shit.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Nobody's
I was gonna
topping
say,
his
as long as we get,
heel when he
as long as you
fought
don't say
Josh
Deacon
Brooks.
Batista, we're fine.
Yes.
I legitimately watched the video of Deacon Batista turn on Devon Dudley today.
Did you? Nice.
After John Cena beats Devon, and that's like John with like the short tights where it's every city's colors.
White meat baby face. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of
Okay.
felt bad for Devon in that situation to lose like that John Cena. Like it's one to lose to like the face of the company John Cena, but to lose to that John Cena who was about to get fired.
Until he proved he could rap. I mean,
Yep.
just goes to show rap music fixes everything.
And think about it too. The trajectory of like John Cena. You can easily argue he's on the Mount Rushmore of like the greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. No, greatest
Absolutely.
wrestler. I mean, like his drawing power alone, man. I mean, he is the definitive. If Bret Hart's the face of the new generation, John Cena's the face of Ruthless Aggression era. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
All right, Mike. Who's going over between Diesel and Batista?
I have Batista going over.
Smart choice.
Smart choice. I mean, I love Diesel, Big Daddy Cool, but I mean, got the 5 moves of doom, right? So I mean, but
Yeah.
and
Big
hopefully
boot, jackknife powerbomb, terror quad.
elbow, flip the hair. Oh man. Well, I gotta tell you, Mike, this is a pretty solid card, but how in the world, what is gonna main event Generations Collide? How are we gonna close out this show? I think I know though, because there's a name that's shocking that's missing from this card. Matter of fact, it's not been on either of your cards. And I think you got a gimmick match left too, don't you?
I do.
Oh, so I think I got it figured out.
What?
Your gimmick match. I'm guessing. I'm going to guess your main event if it's okay. I've never done this before in this show, but I'm going to guess that this matchup is going to be for the possession of the keys of the Lex Express. It's Lex Luger against JBL, right?
No.
What? What? How could you? Come on, man. It's Lex Luger, bro. He's one of your favorites. You love the Lex Express.
I do not.
Come on, man. I know as a kid,
You're not a fan of the Narcissist?
you wanted to be on the Lex Express with Lex Luger. Come on, man.
There's video footage of him during that tour just being a complete asshole.
and I love it, honestly.
God, he's a dick.
I still like, okay, I don't know if you guys ever seen this or know of it, but literally back in the day on WWE Network, one random 4th of July weekend, they released unreleased, unaired footage behind the scenes of the Lex Express. It's the whole fucking tour. It's literally like a 3.5 hour video.
Yes.
And I
Jesus Christ.
tried to find the whole thing in its entirety, and I have not been able to find it since then. But God, I wish I had that, because it's just so ridiculous. And it's like Mike says, he's a complete dick. So I guess I'm wrong in my assessment. Lex Luger isn't
Very
in your
much
main event.
wrong.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know how you're gonna top like possession of like the Lex Express, but let's hear what you got in your main event.
I have a steel cage match,
Okay.
and it is Stone Cold Steve Austin
Okay.
versus CM Punk.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
I played with that match in my head a lot. It's not on my card, but I played with it a lot.
So, and if
This
you think about it, you look at it. So what Mike is talking about here, we're talking the early Stone
Yeah,
Cold, like the
like
transition
CM
from Ringmaster to Stone Cold.
Yeah, like we're like right off of the promo at King of the Ring
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting, because this is
versus straight edge CM Punk.
and it's interesting, I think, about this matchup too, because this is both of these guys would go on. We all know what they went on to be. I mean, two of the biggest names in the world of pro wrestling. But this is a Stone Cold who's just kind of starting to figure out that character. And in a sense, this is CM Punk kind of with his first figuring out his character on a mainstream company in the WWE. I mean, of course, he's done it on Ring of Honor and whatnot in the Indies, but that's different here, you know. So I love that aspect of this matchup.
Yeah,
And you put him in a cage. I mean, come on, man.
yeah.
I mean, I still think like Lex Luger and the Lex Express should be on here, but that's okay. I'll get past it. So who's going over? The Rattlesnake or the Second City Saint?
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, Punk. Sorry, Phil. But
It's okay.
I think he
You'll
would
be
agree
all
with that. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
right.
Well, Mike, that's a pretty damn good, solid card. Pat, let's go back to you. We've went through an amazing night here at the Sun Bowl. What is the main event of the Showdown at Sundown?
Main event for the Showdown at Sundown is a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Let's go.
Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero.
Oh shit.
As
Oh
it should have
shit.
been. As
Oh,
it
shit.
should have been.
Oh shit.
This makes sense.
This man over here is fucking cooking. This man is Wolfgang Puckin, a wrestling card unlike any other. Son of a bitch. And it
We were
makes
supposed to
perfect
see
sense.
it. Absolutely.
does.
And we were supposed to see it before Eddie's passing. If Shawn had agreed to it, they were on board, and just we tragically lost Eddie before we could. But when you ask me top 3 fantasy booking matches that I could book of all time, Shawn versus Eddie is always there. So when you gave me these 2 generations, that was instantly my main. I booked my main event before I booked anything else.
As you
And
should.
the only reason I did not book that match is because I knew Pat would.
Respect.
MJ knows me too well.
Yes. We have talked
They're
about
my-
that match a few times.
Yes, they are my 1 and 2. Shawn is my 1. Eddie is my 2, and I had to do it.
Yeah.
It was very cathartic.
It's the most Texas thing ever.
Yeah, and the fact where this is taking place, I mean,
Yeah.
you got the San Antonio
But
boy going
so much
against
so, so much so that I even had this show booked to take place on October 9th on Eddie Guerrero's birthday.
Let's go. Yes. And just think, if this was done in modern day WWE, they would probably have some racial stereotype as a sponsor.
Probably.
Wah,
It would be
wah,
sponsored by
wah.
like Corona or something.
Yeah, something like that. Corona brings you this main event. Oh my gosh, dude, this is. I'm like, yeah. When we talk about those matches that came so close to being like this is on not only on the list to me. This like tops it.
Yeah.
Like Shawn Michaels
Absolutely.
versus Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 22. God, if that would have happened, oh my God, that we would
One
be
of the,
talking about that as one of the maybe
Greatest
the
WrestleMania.
greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
Yeah.
Honestly,
absolutely. And we were robbed of it. Damn you.
what if? There's always the what if. But thankfully, we have shows like this where you can do your own fantasy booking.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
El Paso, Texas, Iron Man match. The two Texas boys, but it's Eddie's hometown. I gotta ask who's going over.
Of course. Eddie is going over in the 60-man Iron Man match with a score of 4-3, scoring a pinfall in the
Ooh,
final seconds.
let's go. Okay, I gotta ask you this. Have you thought like what the last pinfall would be? Like how would it be?
I have. So I had it Eddie having Sean in the lasso from El Paso, Sean getting to a rope break. Eddie goes to complain to the ref. Looks like he's going to turn into a sweet chin music. Dodges it, hits a backbreaker into a frog splash, and hits the 1, 2, 3 with 1 second left.
Oh wow. Okay.
Goddamn beautiful.
That is damn. Dude, that is dope. Well, both gentlemen, both of you put on amazing cards. Like that, just sick. These are both sick. This is gonna be a hard one to pick too. Like I look at Mike's, and I mean that opener, the Steiners in the world's greatest tag team. That is one of those matches, and to go from that to Eddie against Mr. Perfect, and then Victoria and Alundra Blaze. I love the fun 8-man tag. Jarrett and Cena. God, so good. I love the matchup of Diesel and Batista, Stone Cold and Punk, Angle and Owen. I mean, damn, that's hard. That is hard to beat, but god dang. I look at you, Pat, and kicking off with China and Jazz. Two amazing women's matches on your show, which I fucking love. A Bull Nakano and Beth
And the
Phoenix
funny
as
thing
well.
is, I almost booked a second women's match, and it was gonna be Beth Phoenix and Bull Nakano.
Ah, well, hey, great.
We're right here, brother. We're right here.
This is why I love Familia.
Yes. That, like I said, man, the Bull Nakano Beth Phoenix really hooks me, but Shamrock and Brock,
That's
Dude.
genius.
that's fucking sick.
I
Dude.
give him the win on that just alone. Because holy shit.
It's for me. It's as all of it's great, and Brett versus Kurt, obviously I love, but for me, it's your main event, and it's your everything about it with the name, where it's at in El Paso, Texas. I love every bit about it. And I'm a Brett guy. I'm a Brett guy, but dude, I want to see Sean against Eddie so bad. That's
Absolutely.
fucking sick. So this was a close one, but I think I do have to give it to you, Pat. Showdown at Shundown. You are the victor. Congratulations, my friend. That's a hell of a show. God, like, man, I'm in awe. Like the what I love about this episode today is like so many of these matchups is just like I never even dreamed of, and it's like they're both so good. Like kudos to both of you,
Absolutely.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a little nervous when I was booking my show because I had gotten through all of my matches and I realized I don't have Cena on my card in the Ruthless Aggression era. I was like, I wonder if that's going to be a problem. And then I went to see if I could swap anybody out or replace a match. I was like, I really want this to be a very wrestling centric show, not so much a sports entertainment show, a wrestling show. And so I was like, you know what? I'm okay with not having John on here. He'll be okay. I'll have him do a rap segment somewhere in the show or something. But
It's okay. He's off filming the second Marine. Even though I think that was actually the Miz or something, but still.
It was DiBiase Jr.
No, it was.
God, it was, wasn't it? I forgot about that shit.
Yeah. He was filming 12 rounds at this point.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, let's
John
go
was.
12 rounds. Yeah, there you go. Well, gentlemen.
3 through 5 were the Miz, and then they did like a 6 with Randy. There's a lot of Marines that are just making.
Randy was in a Marine movie? I didn't know that.
Yes, I think so.
I just remember when
No, ever since 3, it's always been the Miz. Randy did 12 rounds 2,
That's
and then
what
it
it
was
was.
Dean.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew he was in some WWE film that just.
Yeah, he was in 12 Rounds 2. And then like I said, I think after him, Dean did one, which weird to see Dean in a movie.
Y'all
Do
just
you
gave
know
me
who
a
I'm shocked we
horror.
both either had on there? Triple H.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The
Another
fact
good
I
that
name in there.
actually,
outside of
I
Cena, his reign of terror was like the face of the Ruthless Aggression era on Raw.
And
yeah.
Neither of us
also
had.
So
Hunter Hearst
if I
Helmsley
could have,
in the new generation.
Oh yeah.
if I could have booked a pre-show match, I would have done Ruthless Aggression Triple H versus Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
I know they went together as each other as Triple H or as Hunter when they did everything, but just I feel like with once you got to Ruthless Aggression era, Triple H was a lot bigger. Could have contrasted or could have played well with it, but again, arguably just decided to leave it off my card. I'm very, very applauding to the Batista Diesel match that MJ
Love
had
that.
because I could not think of anybody to put Batista with, and I don't know how I didn't think of Diesel.
Yeah. The power.
I was throwing around Ahmed Johnson. I was throwing around everybody, and I just couldn't come up. And I don't know how I didn't land on Diesel.
Yeah.
Thank
Big Daddy Cool. No, this was great. This was a great episode. Both were great cards, and kudos to both of you gentlemen. This was an amazing episode of Fantasy Warfare. Good one for us to come back on. Well, as always, though, on Fantasy Warfare, when we end it, we got to do it right. We got to do it with a plug-a-palooza. Pat, my friend, tell us all
Yes,
where we
sir.
can find you.
First and foremost, again, thank you for having me on, bro. Anytime you do one of these, if you just need a body, just give me a call. You a day's notice. I don't care. I will throw something together. But like I said, I love doing this, and I will do it anytime you ask. So thank you for having me on. Appreciate the win. I worked very hard on this card. It was a stressful night of booking. It really was. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am Patrick, aka Pat the Wise Man. You can follow me on TikTok at Pat the Wise Man. Currently, weirdly enough, in my most recent string of videos, it's just me roasting people who are being terrible people in the IWC. But I do talk a lot of wrestling content. I have been given the name the Wise Man for a reason. Tune in to find out. Follow La Familia, the group that I run with, a group of very special people. We were here not too long ago. Myself, Chrissy, and Hot Take Joe. I'm sure more of us will be on soon and in the near future. Go to our leader, Brian's Etsy shop, runtheropes.shop. Get yourself some La Familia merch. Get yourself some Wise Man merch. You can use the code WiseMan15 for 15% off. And yeah, man, there's a lot of things in the pipeline. Not going to give too much away, but I do have a lot of things coming in the works. So follow, stay tuned. Big things are coming.
Love it. And the immortal words of one Stevie Richards, La Familia is taking over. Mike, my friend, we know you're all over the place, but tell us where we can find you, brother.
MJ Duplessis 1992 on all my socials. You can catch me here on World Championship Wreckage on almost every one of our shows at some point. And then on Cole TV and Learning the Ropes with XOJ and B-Roll.
That's right. And PW62. We're all over, brother.
PW60.
Yeah.
You're everywhere, bro. You're just rolling around killing it.
Yeah, just trying to get that working.
When you're the wrestling encyclopedia, brother, you get booked all over the place. So
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I don't know if you do any kind of wrestling trivia shows, OG, but I would love to see Mr. MJ Duplessis versus Familia member Richie Mars because he is also
Ooh.
a wrestling encyclopedia, and I think that would be a very fun show.
We did one like last year or 2 years ago, XOJ. Yeah,
it wasn't fair. It was a team. It was like you,
Really?
Brian from Brian's House of Random, and me. And it was like,
yeah,
I forget. I know Poor Hambone was on the other team, but I forget who was Johnny. I think Johnny was on that episode.
Yeah.
Maybe Bree.
John Boy Bebop?
No,
Oh.
Johnny Goldsmith from the UK.
Oh, Goldsmith. Okay, I was gonna say Johnny doesn't seem like the type to be in that kind of show.
And then kind of ran the table with some odd shit. It was fun.
We had fun.
We all had a good time.
Richie Mars is a really smart man.
He really is. Whenever we're doing any kind of lives, if we blank on something, we're like, "Oh, who is this? Richie?" And he's just like, "Hold on," and he like closes his eyes for a second. And he immediately has the answer. I'm just like,
it's very
okay.
impressive.
Maybe we can do a big. I can picture it now, boys. We do fantasy warfare, fantasy episode. We can do a multi-promotional Richie versus Michael. We can have it
honestly
on.
I'm a fan of Richie's content, and he's a really cool dude. I've talked to him a couple times. I would love to do a fantasy warfare with him. So, Richie, if you see this,
let's do it.
I
I think we need to do the
make
trivia
sure
too.
I send him the link.
We can do it with like on La Familia's page, World Championship Brackages, and Cole TV, multi-platforms, man.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, you heard it here first, folks. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Fantasy Warfare. You both did an amazing job. And as always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and support World Championship Wreckage because they have so much amazing content to you and got some amazing stuff on the horizon. So you're going to be on the lookout for that. Well, I'm XLJ, the OG, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Fantasy Warfare.